Amnesia nearly cost him everything, but Dr. Ryland Grace soon remembered his mission.
All right, today we are diving into a story that is just wow. We're talking about Andy Weir's sci-fi masterpiece, Project Hail Mary. This book is an absolute masterclass in science, survival, and, believe it or not, finding a friend in the most impossible place you can imagine. Ready? Let's jump right in.
So, let's just drop you right into the deep end, because that's exactly where this story begins. Picture this. You wake up from a coma, you've got IVs in your arms, and you have absolutely no clue who you are. The only things you know for sure, you are a long, long way from home, and somehow the entire future of the human race rests on your shoulders. No pressure, right?
So, who is this guy? Well, his name is Ryland Grace. And as he starts to put the puzzle pieces of his memory back together, he realizes something pretty shocking. He's not some kind of super-trained, grizzled astronaut. Nope. He's a middle school science teacher, and you better believe he is completely and utterly terrified.
Think about it. He's completely alone. He's in this sterile spaceship, surrounded by all this crazy advanced tech he doesn't recognize. And his memories? They're coming back in these little confusing flashes. The only thing he can hold on to, the only thing that makes any sense, is logic, the scientific method. That's his anchor in this insane new reality.
And through those flashbacks, the horrifying truth of why he's there starts to come into focus. This isn't some grand mission of exploration. Oh no, this is a desperate, one-way trip. They called it Project Hail Mary, and it is literally humanity's last-ditch, throw-everything-out-the-wall attempt to stop something catastrophic back on Earth.
What's the big bad threat? It's this tiny little microbe they call Astrophage. Think of it as an alien organism that has, well, infested our sun. It's not evil or anything, it's just hungry. And its favorite food happens to be the very energy that keeps our planet, alive.
And the effect of this? It's a total catastrophe. The astrophage eats the sun's energy, which means the sun starts to dim. And as our sun gets cooler, Earth's temperature just plummets. We're talking a full-blown global ice age that would wipe out, well, everything. The stakes are literally as high as they can get.
So that explains why Grace is 12 light years from home. Back on Earth, scientists found just one tiny little glimmer of hope, a star system called Tau Ceti. For some reason, it seems to be totally immune to this astrophage problem. The mission sounds simple, right? Get there, figure out why it's immune, and get that answer back home. Easy.
Okay, so just as Grace is about to be completely overwhelmed by the crushing weight of being the only human for light years, he makes maybe the biggest discovery in all of human history. There's another ship at Tau Ceti. We are not alone. And maybe even crazier, we're not the only ones with this problem. So Grace meets this alien who he ends up calling Rocky. And when I say they're different, I mean they couldn't possibly be more different. Rocky comes from a high-pressure world, breathes ammonia. They're incompatible in pretty much every biological way imaginable. But they have one thing, one massive thing in common. Both of their home stars are dying, and they are both the last desperate hope for their entire species. So how in the world do these two even start to talk? I mean, they're from completely different corners of the galaxy. Well, they find a universal language, science, math, physics, the periodic table. Using these basic building blocks, they build this incredible bridge of communication that eventually blossoms into a really powerful, honestly unforgettable friendship. And just like that, they're a team. They combine their knowledge, their tech, and they start running all these risky experiments, trying to figure out what makes Tau Ceti so special. The clock is ticking for both of their worlds.
And suddenly, the mission is so much bigger. It's not just about saving humanity anymore. You've got two entire civilizations, billions and billions of lives on two totally separate planets, all depending on this little being team. Yeah, no pressure at all. And then they have a breakthrough. They find this local microbe they name Taumoeba. And it turns out, this little guy is a natural predator of astrophage. That's it. That's why Tau Ceti is safe. They found their solution. But it's a dangerous one. Just unleashing this thing could cause a whole new set of catastrophic problems they can't even predict.
So they're so close. Victory is right there. They can almost taste it. And then disaster, of course. There's a containment breach on Rocky's ship, and Rocky is dying. This puts Ryland Grace in an absolutely agonizing, impossible situation.
And this right here, this is the gut punch of the story. If he decides to help Rocky, he has to use the fuel he desperately needs to get the cure back home to Earth. So the choice is brutal. Save your only friend, or save every single person on your home planet. Seriously, what would you do in that spot? What might be the most human moment of the entire book, Ryland makes his choice. He just can't leave his friend to die. He turns the ship around, burns that precious fuel that was supposed to be Earth's salvation, and goes all in to save Rocky. He basically accepts that he'll be exiled forever, and in doing so, he might have just doomed all of humanity. But here's the beautiful twist. That one act of compassion, choosing friendship over cold, hard logic, is what ends up saving everyone. Because together, they don't just figure out how to save Rocky. Their combined brain power lets them figure out a way to make enough of the cure to save both of their worlds. So they send the cure back to Earth on automated probes. And Ryland, he makes his final choice. He doesn't go back to a planet he can barely even remember. He stays with his friend Rocky on his homeworld Irid, and he finds a whole new purpose. He goes back to being a teacher, but this time his students are these curious little rock-like alien kids. It's a perfect ending, really. It proves that home isn't necessarily a place, it's the people you're with. So what do we learn from all this? Well, a few big things. First, science isn't just cold, hard data. It's this amazing creative tool that helps us survive. Second, real friendship, it can cross any barrier you can imagine, even the one between stars. And heroism, it's not about being fearless. It's about being terrified and doing the right thing anyway. Ultimately, it's about hope, and how hope, when you actually act on it, is maybe the most powerful force there is. And really, that's the heart of Project Hail Mary. It's this incredible reminder that our best qualities as people, our curiosity, our empathy, that simple willingness to help a friend in need, they aren't just feel-good emotions. Sometimes, they're the only things that can actually save us.